Okie dokie. Well, here we are. Just Local, the podcast that we've decided to put together, and I'm joined with a special guest today, someone who's actually come in to do a bit of shadow in the business, but I thought a lot of people that are going to be watching and listening to this probably will recognise the name, and also if you're watching it, you're going to recognise who you're looking at. We have got Huw Taylor, formerly Worcester Warriors, now Seattle Seawolves, and doing a real estate qualification at the same time.
Yeah, so currently out in Seattle, back for a couple of months in between seasons, and then just finishing off that real estate management degree I've been doing for a little while now. Enjoying it.
Yeah, good. Well, obviously it's been great to keep in touch with you and see how your career's kind of progressed from your days at Worcester Warriors. Obviously we're going to talk about that today because there's a lot of positive stuff going on at Six Ways at the moment. It feels like a good place to be back involved with again. But you're currently in Cheltenham for a few more weeks, and then you're off to Australia. Then what's happening after that?
Actually staying with one of the old Worcester Warriors boys, Jack Singleton, in his Airbnb in Cheltenham, just off Bath Road. And then, we're heading back to Kelly. My wife's got a brother out in Australia, so we're going to see him for a month, and then I'll be flying directly from there to Seattle. Then the season starts out there in the Major League Rugby, MLR, mid-February. So that'll run through then until the end of June. So excited. We got to the final last year, so hoping to do one better next year, which will be good.
Sure you will. Yeah. And you've got Joe T out there with you at the moment, or has been on this last season. Hopefully he's going to be there again for the next season.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Yeah, Joe Taftiri, remember him from Worcester days. He was good ball carrier, like nice to have him on the pitch, good round scrummaging and stuff as well. So yeah, it was a pleasure to meet up with him because I think it'd been probably 4 or 5 years since we played together. So it was nice to catch up again. So hoping to have him again next year.
Amazing. And many people that follow Worcester Warriors players that obviously when the club kind of had to disband, players went in different directions. You've got Perry Humphreys out in America as well.
Yeah, so Perry Humphreys out in America, I'm trying to think, he's playing for Old Glory, and Simon Cross, who used to be the defence coach at Worcester, is the head coach. So I think that's where the link is. I'm sure he'll probably try and bring some more Worcester boys over there with him potentially in the next couple of seasons.
What's it like out there? Like obviously you've got dreary Worcester that you used to play in all the bad weathers, but what's it like out in Seattle?
Wow, yeah. After Worcester, I was in Newport, so that was
acclimatizing.
Yeah, so that's even different from but it's Seattle. Well, weather's actually very similar, but as you get to May, June onwards, it's pretty beautiful, pretty unique place. You can see anything from national parks, killer whales, bears, all that sort of thing. Only 2-hour drive from Vancouver, so there's plenty to do down that sort of Pacific Northwest, they call it. Drove down that Oregon coastline as well. It was beautiful. Went down to Portland to watch the basketball there, the NBA, which was pretty cool. And then drove back through the national park up there. Yeah, it's a pretty unique place. I'd recommend it to anyone that's looking to go.
What's it like being a professional athlete out in America?
It's different, yeah. So obviously, not quite as big as the NFL or the NBA and that sort of thing. But like a few of them have actually come down to watch a few of our games and stuff like that. So it's been pretty cool to get to know. And everyone in America is just so hyped about sport. There's such like a big mentality with sport over there. So when people are coming to watch these rugby games, they're like, "What? You're playing American football without pads?" Like, yeah, it's pretty crazy, isn't it? And it's nice to have that sort of positivity. And so in South Wales, there's been quite a lot of negative press around rugby recently, and obviously post-COVID, and it's been a bit of a difficult environment. But everyone seems to be quite positive moving forward to that sort of 2031 World Cup that they're hosting out there, and then the women are hosting the year later. The World Cup as well, so yeah, it's exciting.
I can't remember which coaches you would have been underneath at Worcester Warriors. Who did you have as coaches whilst you were at Warriors? So
the main one was Dean Ryan, yes, and then when we were in the Championship, won the Championship, did the first year in the Premiership, and then there was a number of different coaches that came in after that. So we had like Gary Gold, Alan Solomons,
Gary I was thinking of because he was the American national team coach, wasn't he? USA coach?
Yeah. So I think that was up until about last year. I think he was. They've brought in Scott Lawrence now, who's like was an American rugby player who sort of. So I think they're trying to bring through the university setup and just promote USA rugby in general. So obviously being an ex-player from there, it works quite nicely. But I think Gary did quite a lot for USA rugby as well, and obviously worked quite closely with Joey and a few of the other players and stuff as well. So
did you get to see him? Did you catch up with him?
No, I haven't actually. I haven't caught up with him since I've left. But I'm not too sure where he's ended up now. But so
he's got an investment property here in Worcester. He bought one whilst he was having his time at Worcester, and we've been looking after it for him. So I still stay connected with him, but don't see much of him.
Yeah.
So rugby aside, obviously you're thinking about your career after rugby, which is probably a few years away, really, but you got an interest in property. It's a bit of a family-run thing, isn't it? Is this right? It's in the blood?
Yeah. So my dad started off as sort of his old man was a painter and decorator, and then he got into site management, property management, sort of, and then climbed his way up and is actually now the CEO of a construction company in North Yorkshire, and they basically deconstruct oil rigs and have a fair bit of land and things. And then my brother has then gone into land surveying as well. So there's a bit of a construction sort of land, and then we've ended up opening up our own business called Taylor Coastal and Country Limited, and we've got an investment property there together, and I'm renting my house that I own out, obviously being out in America at the minute. So no, we're quite enjoying it, and it's quite nice to have those people around you that you can chat to, and it's nice to catch up with yourself as well, like, and learn a lot off you and the team downstairs as well. So
you're giving back. So I appreciate, obviously, you weren't quite knowing about this podcast we were going to film today, nor that you're going to be coaching the under-14s Droitwich rugby team tomorrow evening. But obviously, got to take full advantage of you being here with us. And you just want to really just see what it's like in the UK. Really, just have a little look at how it works in the estate agency business. Is that the plan, really?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and just like try and pick and choose like what bits I enjoy and the valuation side of things, and and also potentially having a look at maybe whether if I fancy doing it long term in America or back here, or just weigh up my options outside of rugby, because obviously you don't know when it's going to end, really, and hopefully it'll be another couple of seasons, and hopefully Worcester might come back in the into the fold. But really enjoying sort of just giving yourself a little bit of perspective outside of just rugby.
And you were talking about it downstairs, that this is really something that you've got different in America versus kind of the English rugby leagues and English rugby union, but like the league system. So how does it work then? You kind of like 7 months of like intense, you're there, you're a player, you're in the team, and then you get some time off, is that right? Yeah,
so essentially the league was made so to be 7 months, so then a lot of the foreigner players could go back and play somewhere else in the off season. So a lot of the sort of New Zealanders, there's a competition called the NPC, and they'll go and play in that, and then they'll come either get a Super Rugby contract or they'll get an MLR, Major League Rugby American contract, and they play all year round. But then there's the South Africans and the Brits, and where it doesn't really work like that. You go out there for 7 or 8 months, and then you'll sort of have 4 months where you're like, right, what can I focus on now? Start thinking about post rugby, or doing some coaching or potential opportunities out in America, or not always necessarily coming back. So the season sort of runs from end of February till July, and that's pretty intense. There's probably maybe the odd week off in that time, but it's pretty much game every week. Yeah. So by the end of last season, I was struggling a little bit, I'll be honest, but no, I really enjoyed it. Going to explore all these different states that I've never been to as well. It's pretty unique experience.
It's a big country out there, isn't it? It's a big place to cover.
Yeah.
So talking about the kind of the league system we were talking about downstairs, so you got over here, we've got Premiership, what's going to be called Prem 2 or Championship as it's known now. How does it work in the MLR? What's the setup?
So a lot of it's through the colleges. So they have like an MLR draft sort of situation that goes on where they brought in the past couple of years where they pick the best players from the colleges and then draft them to the different teams.
Is it done in the same kind of spectacle they do with the NFL? Is it that kind of that whole process? Or
yeah, so I think they're trying to grow it. Obviously, not quite the same numbers as the NFL and stuff like that, but So it's the same sort of thing. If you were the bottom team, you get the first pick for the next season, and you can trade the draft picks for maybe more salary compensation for next year, or just salary caps, that sort of thing. But yeah, the league itself is split into two conferences: the Western Conference and the Eastern Conference. And if you can get into the top 4 of those conferences out of 6 teams, then you get into a playoff. So semi-final of the conference, final of the conference, and then the 2 top teams from each conferences play each other in the MLR final. Yeah, so
we won't talk about that. No, go on. Let's talk about it briefly then. So how did you do last season?
Yeah, so we managed to win our conference, and then we ended up playing Boston Free Jacks, New England Free Jacks they call themselves, in San Diego in the final, and then unfortunately lost on the big stage. But it was a hell of an event. There was a DJ called Marshmallow there, and they had about 15, I think it was about 15, maybe 18,000 fans there. So no, it was exciting. It was a good weekend. They managed, they try and put on an event out in America, make it so then more people come, not just for the rugby, and trying to grow it. So it's
makes a lot of sense. They know how to do their events out there.
Yeah.
So off the pitch, what are you and Kelly doing when you're in Seattle? How's your time spent?
She's doing a bit of coaching as well, because my wife Kelly used to play for England and GB Sevens, so she's doing a bit of coaching out there for Rugby Washington, which is a state. So she goes around schools and clubs and helping out there, trying to grow the game, which is quite unique, and she's enjoying that. And she did a bit of training herself with Seattle, which are based in a British Columbia League, which is in Canada. So she's been up to Canada a few times, which is quite cool. But then, to be honest, like, we've been just trying to, all our days off and weekends, just trying to see as much as you can, because there's so much to see in the state itself, let alone America. So, but we did pop over to Hawaii for our honeymoon as well, to be fair. So that wasn't a bad experience.
Did you get married over here or married over there?
Married over here last summer, 29th of July, and then we had to put off our honeymoon because I knew I was going out to America. And then we did it whilst we were out there in Hawaii. So yeah, not bad.
Nice.
Yeah.
So how do budding rugby players, because I coach a lot of under 14s at the moment, obviously they've got a few years before they get to kind of being able to play abroad, but how do they go about it? Like your rugby career has been pretty epic. You played England as well. Has there been a period of
under 20? Junior World Cup. We won the Junior World Cup in Manchester. I think 2015. 2016. Yeah. So no, and then Worcester 5 years, Dragons 5 years, and then out in the States.
And how did you get yourself into the States? Like from playing the Dragons, did they come knocking? Did they come calling, or did you have a agent looking on your behalf? Or?
So we kind of had a connection. A guy called Huw Taylor, who's been in the Premiership and Championship over here. He's quite friendly with my brother, and he put me in contact with Alan Clark, who actually used to be the Ospreys head coach, and then the rest is history, really.
It's a small world, isn't it?
Yeah. So we kind of knew of each other before, but hadn't really had a conversation, and then so just through connections, really.
Yeah, and there'll be another connection. Worcester Warriors fans will remember Chris Latham. He had a stint at Worcester Warriors, and he used to have his socks down, never had his socks pulled up, and he was the assistant head coach.
So he mainly ran the attack and the backs, really. So he was out of the player like growing up, and it's pretty unique to see him out there. And like so humble as well, and just a good bloke. I played golf with him a few times out there and stuff, and he's just pretty down to earth bloke. Yeah,
fun. So let's talk about your time with Worcester Warriors.
Yeah.
You've obviously got some fantastic memories. Are there any particular matches you can remember that stand out? If there's any kind of nostalgic Warriors fans watching or listening to this, what would you kind of say were some of your better games that you enjoyed?
So obviously when I was at Worcester, sort of started my career. So joined full time when I was 18 from Old Stringford Hospital school. And then that was the year we were in the championship. We won the championship and we won the British and Irish Cup. So I mainly played in the British and Irish Cup, and then we also got to the final of the A-League that year as well. But, we're in the championship.
So you got a lot of games then, didn't you? Because the A-League used to be the kids that were coming through, really. Yeah. That's the way they used to play the squad.
Yeah, so it's kind of like what the Prem Cup is now. It was, they used to call it the A-League, and we played Saracens in the final. And they had like the likes of like Maro Toge and all those boys playing.
But didn't you have Ollie's Orange, wasn't he, in your squad?
We still would have been a little bit younger. Wasn't we? Yeah. But we had really nice group, that British and Irish Cup winning group, because we had such a good championship team as well. The squad that Dean had put together for that year was just pretty phenomenal. To think that we were in the championship, like with some of the players that have kicked on now. Yeah, it's pretty amazing. But so a lot of my first year would have been playing British Irish Cup, under 20s England, and the A-League. So it was pretty successful for the first year when we came in. And then after that, it was mainly sort of had the odd sort of Premier and have to go on loan a few times in the championship. Played at London, the Scottish, Doncaster Knights the following year. And then would come back and play the European Challenge Cup in my second and third year. And then in my fourth year, then I started breaking the first team a lot more, playing a lot more first games. Yeah. So a lot of memories. Probably my best memories, probably the first couple of years I was there. Yeah. So
get them into the Prem.
Yeah.
Position-wise, you can play pretty much anywhere on the back row, is that right? And where do you prefer? What's your favourite spot?
Probably blindside flanker 6 is I'd say my best position. I think I started out with the under 20s as a second row, but then I felt like I had more to offer around the pitch, and I was quite good in the line out, so I was pushed into that sort of calling role, but lost a little bit of weight and decided to go further that back row and try to get more involvement around my like tackling and carrying and stuff like that. So now it was nice to make that switch, and then I've actually ended up playing number 8 quite a bit out in Seattle, just because our captain was the number 8. Unfortunately, got injured halfway through the season, so I had to kind of like step into that role. But yeah, anywhere really in the back row. Even had to play 7 a few times, but it's chaos.
There's a lot of work on a 7. There's a lot of work on a 7. That's my old position. You wouldn't believe it, but that's where I used to play. So we talked about Worcester Warriors when you used to be with them, and obviously there's a bit of positive rumblings at the moment in terms of that club coming back together. It's a big smile on your face. A lot of old players, I think you've been with some of them this weekend. A lot of positive memories about that place, isn't there?
Yeah, so it was Perry Humphrey's 30th this weekend, and we had Jack Singleton, Ollie Lawrence and a few of the Worcester boys. So now it was nice to catch up with them. But yeah, there seems to be a nice bit of chat about it. And whenever you go and chat to these lads, it's mad. Mikey Daniels as well. They all have such fond memories of like Worcester and the group of players that were there, and how well we got on together, and how we came through the system together from like the age of 17, 18 all the way to sort of 24, 25. And all our partners and things get on well. So yeah, everyone's got really fond memories of Worcester, and it's quite hard to compare your time there to other places, because it was quite a unique sort of setup there, and the facilities obviously there was second to none as well. So so now it's quite nice to catch up with them on the weekend, and it's nice to have that positive chat that there is a chance that they might be coming back.
I was going to say those facilities are still there, so they're just waiting for a team to get together. Yeah, I mean, there seems to be some positive rumblings, and you don't know what to believe or what we come back at the moment. But there's talk about RFU letting them come back into the Prem 2, which will be the Championship.
Yeah.
Thinking 25-26 season, which is not too far away. Actually, it's going to get here quite quickly. So, yeah, very excited. And do you think one day you'll be gold and blue again? You'll be back out there on Six Ways turf?
Yeah, I'd love to be glad to. Yeah. I think it would be like a nice little start of my career, end of my career sort of thing, and being pretty unique, wouldn't it? But I'm sure there's loads of boys who have been in a similar position to me as well.
Well, that big music areas, they're probably already starting to think about recruitment. So Six Ways, if you are starting to think about recruitment, we've got one player ready for you. Obviously, Seattle committed until the future. But so it would be nice to see you back there. And we were talking downstairs. Obviously, Kelly's kind of local to here anyway. She's a qualified teacher, so she's working in this area currently whilst you're back here. So it would probably be when you do come back from America eventually. This is probably near where you're going to be living anyway, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So Kelly's family are all based Gloucestershire sort of area, and then my family is Shropshire, so not too far either. So yeah, near Bridgnorth, which I'm doing a big coaching with and playing at the minute, which is quite nice. Whilst I'm back playing with my brother and stuff, which I haven't done since the age of 16. So yeah, it's kind of like Worcester's always sort of been a happy medium for us in between, like our two parents and my best man as well, Sam Ripper Smith, who was at Worcester Academy as well. He lives in Worcester as well, so it's nice. And a lot of my mates who have gone to London to work are starting to come back to this sort of area as well. So,
is it Sam with the coffee shop? Is this that?
Not Sam Smith, the winger. He was a 7. He used to be a mad little 7.
I got you. So you ran the blind side. He's on the other side.
Yeah, so we were both sort of old Swinford boys, and then both got contracted.
Well, you didn't realise that.
Yeah, and then he ended up going to Loughborough University. He's now a financial advisor locally as well. So yeah. No, he's doing well for himself.
Yeah, there's been a few players that have kind of gone into doing financial advice and stuff like that. I think I think they're good for events, they're good for corporates, and obviously they switched on people as well, aren't they, at the end of the day? And what do you think, 10 years time from now, because then your boots will be certainly hung up for a professional level. You might still be playing on weekends and stuff like that, but where do you see yourself? What would you like to be doing?
I've done a bit of coach, so I'm a level 3 coach now. So I do want to keep my hand in rugby, because I feel like it's given a lot to me and as a sport, and it's given a lot to the people that you surround yourself with as well. In rugby, you're just good, honest people, and so I think I do want to be involved in it. I'm not 100% sure whether I want to do it from a professional coaching point of view, and I've got this interest in property and real estate and land as well. So maybe somewhere in between. I think it'd be nice to maybe go into schools, because Kelly, my wife's a PE teacher as well. So potentially getting into schools and helping out there, maybe getting into a local rugby club, things like that. So a bit unsure at the minute, but now
I'm working on him, George. I know it's very early days, but I am working on him, because obviously you're a credit to Osh, as we know, old school. What's it called? Old Swindon?
Yeah, Old Swindon.
I know it was Osh. I don't know the full title, but so you literally went through the system. So you were a school rugby player.
Yeah.
Played at Osh.
Yeah.
And then picked up by an academy, was it? Or were you straight into Warriors, or how did it work back then?
Yeah, so obviously with the academy now, it's more Gloucester. I think they run this sort of areas now. But Worcester used to have outreach programs sort of in Shropshire and in Worcestershire sort of area. Obviously, once I moved from Bridgnorth to the school in Old Swinford, I mainly went from Old Swinford. There's a group of about 5 or 6 of us who used to come and do the EPDG sort of sessions on a Monday night, which is sort of a league player development group, and then you end up getting put in the Gold Academy, and then you work your way up until under 16s, under 18s, where you used to play against the other Premiership clubs. And then that's how I got my England under 18s cap, and then got contracted through Worcester through that, basically. Yeah.
That'd be nice then. So if Worcestershire want to get that going again, but it's going to need, obviously, because ultimately, as you said, you, Ollie Lawrence, you could probably name a load of players that kind of came through that academy to become first team players, which I guess hasn't cost them a fortune in, new recruits and stuff like that. It's probably been a nice homegrown talent squad.
Yeah, so I think that the Worcester sort of ACE now college, we used to be based at Worcester Sixth-Form College, is now at Stourport. So it's all sort of run through that college there, Stourport College. But then there's also, I think, Shrewsbury College, there's like an outreach program there, but Gloucester seems to be tapping into theirs in a minute.
There would, there's no rugby team here to pinnacle to. I suppose it's they need to go there somewhere, don't they?
Yeah, exactly. So I think the programs are there set up, but obviously there'll be a bit of a if they do come back, who takes them.
Yeah, we're going to need a bit of 6 ways. Let's go. We're going to start a whole new squad all over again. So I know it's going to be really, really exciting. I gather London Irish and also Wasps are all going in at the same time. So we're going to hopefully get the Championship or Prem 2 back to a decent number of matches. You were saying earlier, sorry, I'm going to jump around on this, but like you were saying earlier, your conference is made up of how many teams?
So there's six teams in the Western Conference, 6 teams in the Eastern Conference.
So how many times do you play each other, is it?
So you play your conference, so the Western Conference, we play everyone home and away.
Yep.
And then in the Eastern Conference, it's home all away. So we essentially...
so you are playing those sides at the same time in your season? Okay.
Yeah, so like last year we played Miami at home. Next year we'll play them away, sort of thing.
Nice. So they got good setup?
Well, I think Miami shot. So they've sort of been in the league, I think, 1 or 2 seasons. So I think they're growing, but I think there's a bit of money there. So I think they're quite excited. I've got a few Welsh mates actually who are playing over there, and they seem to enjoy the nightlife as well.
So you mentioned earlier on about playing rugby with your brother again.
Yeah.
Back at Bridge North. Are you older or younger?
2 years younger. So he was actually Worcester Academy for 1 year as well. My brother playing England under 18s captain, and then went to Loughborough University, Bedford Blues. And then he's now obviously more playing for Bridge North and more full time with his work. But no, it's pretty unique because last time we played against each other was when Alstonford got to the Game Mail Cup final in Twickenham, and I was 15, turning 16. He was 18. So
you played up that. I think it was also you would have been year 10 or year 11.
Yeah, year 11. I was quite young for my year in year 11, and then he was just finishing school at 18.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so.
And how'd you get in that match?
We actually lost in the final. It seems to be reoccurring.
We'll change that when you're back to 6 ways. Don't worry about that. So we're going to go do a bit more property stuff then. You're going to go on an evaluation with one of our team members.
Yeah.
You've seen how the comparables all get put together.
Yeah.
I can't remember the actual wording for the question. This is only our second podcast, so you'll have to excuse me. But just in terms of what you like and remember about Worcester as an area, forget the Warriors for a minute.
Yeah.
Like living and being around this place. Is there anything you kind of remember, anything that you liked about the location itself?
No, I think Worcester's just, on the M5 corridor is beautiful, like not far from sort of Birmingham, Cheltenham, like some real nice areas around as well. And then it's obviously got like a nice mix of restaurants and a few more coffee shops with the river. So we used to live around Digler sort of area, and it's nice being able to go watch the cricket because I was quite keen cricketer when I was younger, and so it's kind of got everything I sort of like enjoyed, and not a too big city feel, but then it's got the train station as well, and you can still get about quite easy and not too far down into London as well. So I think just like in terms of like its connections and the actual city itself and the walks and stuff surrounding it, it's pretty unique.
I must admit, I do agree. I wholly agree. I remember actually when the players were all here, there's a massive contingent lived in Diglis, or they lived in Cheltenham. That was it.
Yeah.
It was like there's 2 locations. And then I think GJ Van Belts was living over the other side. He had a farm or something over the old way.
Yeah.
But yeah, that seemed to be the general setup for the players. But no, it's like, I mean, I love keeping in touch with you, and I do hope that we get to see you back at 6 Way at some point in the future. I'm sure everyone that's listening or watching this will also like to see you back there. With obviously your experience as a real estate agent over in Seattle, possibly certainly a few more matches under your belt. Maybe you'll win in the final Conference Cup, whatever it's called. But no, it's been lovely having you on. Thanks for your time, Huw.
No, I appreciate it, Matt. Nice to spend some time with you. Cheers, mate.
Cheers. Thank you so much.